Hi, guys. Just 1 second. All right. So, welcome to my channel. My name is Emmie from Emmie Evolving. Excuse me. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, right now, we're going to do episode 17 of the Soul Sanctuary podcast. This is a very interesting live stream we're going to be doing. Give me 1 second, okay? Just got to close these windows out so that I can focus on you guys. All right. So, here goes. Today we're going to be talking about sacred sex, right? How many of you guys have been in connections that you assumed and felt so wholeheartedly was the most sacred connection you have ever had? How many of you? How many of you have connected with someone on a level so deep, so intense that it was this, I guess, feeling of something sacred? How many of us even know what a sacred union actually is? Now, how many relationships have you been in? How many times have you been in a relationship that you felt was just the end all be all for relationships? How many times has this sacred relationship that you felt was sacred? How many times was that something that actually was? How were you able to tell that it was sacred? What did they do to make you feel as though this was divinity in the flesh? I would love to hear what you've experienced in relationships. So many of us over the past couple of years, we've been exposed to teachings that sound amazing. It sounds amazing. It sounds good. It sounds really, really good, actually. If we listen to it, like, there is this person who was made just for you. They were created just for you, for your enjoyment, for your pleasure, for your healing, for your lifelong companionship. And this is a person who was created for you and therefore will always be with you. Kind of like Adam and Eve, right? Like Adam and Eve, where, Eve was made for Adam. Eve was made from Adam. Eve was created specifically to benefit Adam, right? And no, this is not about feminism and no, it's not about that at all. This is about the type of connection that we have with other people and our perception of that connection, and how our perception is the very thing that causes us to feel as though we should physically merge. So, what is sex to you? Technically, by technicality, sex is the act of procreation, right? Of reproduction, where, by technical terms, you are taking a masculine body part and a feminine body part, and you are interconnecting them and allowing them to function in the way they were designed to function. And then 9 months later, you might have a baby. That's the technicality of it. But as humans, it's so much more than just a technicality. It's so much more than that. There are so many other factors that enter into this connection that we have with other people. So many more factors. We have factors that involve not just the physicality, but also the hormonal composition that affects our psychological state, emotional state. There's so many different aspects to this that need to be explored. And some people would think that exploring simply the spiritual aspect because we heard something somewhere at some point. Now we know what we want. What do you want from a partner? And is it your goal to have that partner long term? Please, you guys, please do share. What would you want from a lifelong partner? What is your list of requirements for this partner to have? Characteristics. I mean, get in that nitty gritty. Let me know. Does their bank account matter? Where they live? Does the food they eat matter? Are the friends they keep, is that a deal breaker? Do they have to be religious? Do they have to be spiritual? What type of spiritual practice do you want them to have? I want to know what your perfect sacred relationship looks like. What would you need in order for you to consider the relationship a sacred union, in order for you to uplift a simple act of fornication, procreation, into this realm of sacred sex? What would you need? So Chris says celestial. Do you feel like it has to be celestial? What is your definition or concept of celestial? Sherry says, for me, it's sharing love, my commitment to my husband, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, and everything about me. The important aspect for a relationship is sharing my life. I have that now. That's beautiful, Sherry. Universal D says, I honestly just want someone who's authentic as me, just open and honest with whom they are. Right. Right. I mean, how many of us are open and honest at this point? How many of us really truly know each other before we have that intercourse, right? Let's see. Gays want something that's unconditional. If you want something that's unconditional, are you willing to love in an unconditional manner as well? Right? Do you need to be loved in an unconditional manner before you are able to perform an act of love? Right? These are some really important questions. Ocean Lover says, a love supreme, complimentary, and all encompassing. I would rather be cobweb level single. Oh, before I had anything casual or poorly aligned. Ooh, mm, mm, casual or poorly aligned. We're going to be tapping into some of the mechanics, energetic mechanics of intercourse. Okay. Many of us don't realize a lot of what we agree to on a casual level, casual interactions of such an intimate type behavior. There's very real ramifications to your energetic and oftentimes physical bodies. Okay. I love that comment, Ocean Lover. All right. Let's see. Kathleen says, one that's not codependent, loyalty, and sharing my life that I can grow. Ooh, love that. That standard of not being codependent, right? If you don't want codependency, what do you want? Let's think in terms of what we do want, not what we don't want. Because when we think of what we don't want, all we're doing is removing a component and leaving a gaping space. What will you fill that space with? Right? Let's see. Lisa says, for me, I want someone who can love me every day, not just when it's convenient. Get through the bad days together. Ooh. So Lisa is what I'm hearing is that Lisa is aware and okay with a relationship being a real connection where it's not always sunshine and rainbows, where sometimes we expect to have not so good days, but we can work through that. We can work through the not so good days, and that will deepen our love for each other. That's beautiful. Gaze says, gets me thinking the unconditionality does not include a roving eye. Ah, so monogamy. You're interested in monogamous connection. How many of you require monogamy as part of that pretense before you agree to a sexual exchange? I mean, I'm very old fashioned, but I definitely don't expect my old fashioned ways to be impressed upon all of you. I'm very curious. I'm very, very curious. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts? Does a sacred union, a sacred sex interaction, sexual interaction, does it have to be something that involves monogamy? I don't know. I don't know. Chris says, it's a love that makes you both smile without having to think, to be free to be ourselves. Ooh, I love that. I really, really love that. Energetic responsibility says somebody that also does not cheer me in thoughts or energy. It's both the same thing as we are becoming more clairvoyant. Huh? Even when you think that somebody else, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's see. Here. Desiree says monogamy, yes. I agree. I prefer monogamy. I'm not into casual encounters. Hold on really quick, guys. Give me 1 second. All right. So Carmen says, hold on. I'm sorry, guys. Open the door, honey. My face. Carmen says, I want someone who pushes me to grow every day by inspiring me to do so, not because he wants me to change. Someone who accepts me and loves me regardless. An equal, a partner to grow with. Ooh, I felt that one. Mm, I felt that one. I like that. I like that a lot. I definitely love that. Love that. We're going to promote it from like into the realm of love. I love that. So, Rainbow Flame says, I'm in the process of making adjustments to this. I'm looking at what I come with and what I can give and honor so fully. Just to start love, respect, loyalty, honesty, and synergy. Ooh, ooh, the synergy, the coming together of components for the greater good, the greater creative essence. Love it. You guys have a very good idea of what you want. You have a good idea of what you want, but how many of us are able to apply what we want to the situations that we are actually in? How many of us? How many of us are able to find the courage to have this conversation before we become physically intimate with an individual? How many of us have the courage to say, hold on, we need to talk first about what it is that you are expecting, what I'm expecting? Is this a casual thing? Is this something that, are we planning together to build upon this? So Coffee says it's not too necessary. I'm open to explore the freedom of others. What does freedom say? How free do you want to be? That's a very, very deep conversation that many of us should probably have. It's like many of us should probably have these conversations with the people we're about to have some boom boom with. I'm just saying. Ocean Lover says mutual monogamy is a must for me in a relationship. I acknowledge that that is a personal choice, though, as I do not malign polygamy blindly. I'm nations upon nations of good. Oh, I'm nations upon nations of good women in one woman. Yes. I love that. Like, I don't feel like this conversation is about shaming people who are into casual connections. Baby boo, you do what you do. Okay. Don't let anyone shame you from the choices that you make. This is about having an open conversation, right? Just really conversing, being very open in what we think, what we feel, what our requirements are from other people before we open ourselves up for that physical interaction. So, a lot of things that happen during intercourse are things that are not seen. Okay. I want to kind of bring this graphic up really quick. So, let me there we go. So a lot of things that happen are really more than just the physical movement, the physical intimacy. There's a lot of physiological, unseen things that are happening. Where is it? Here. So, first and foremost, when we enter into that physical activity, we begin to produce a hormone called oxytocin. Okay. Oxytocin is being shown repeatedly, study after study after study. It's released during sex and other intimate gestures like hugging or holding hands, and it's been proven to strengthen social bonds in other mammals. Okay. When a mother breastfeeds, oxytocin is released. It helps the mother and the baby bond. When you have such an intimate physical interaction with another person, so long as you are in agreement with that, you will release oxytocin. This is the very reason why I have seen time and time and time again, friends with benefits does not end well. Multi-partner, like a polygamous, people who are into polyamory, uh, not against it. I don't personally partake in it. I'm not against it though. Okay. But what I've seen is that people who involve quite a few others, even just one more other in their relationship, it tends to turn out pretty ugly. I have not seen one that has been successful yet. Where I'm not talking about things that are televised. I'm talking about in real life things. I have a lot of different um, clients that come to me. I know a lot of different people and they all have different lifestyles, preferences, and whatnot. I honor all of them. I completely respect everyone's decisions, their right to decide, but that's what I've seen day in and day out, person after person after person. It always ends up with at least one person bonding with the other way more. And then it becomes this thing of ownership. It's because of the oxytocin. Okay. That's a bonding hormone. You're not going to get any of that and not be able to bond. Okay. That's definitely something that will increase your fixation on the other individual. Now, it's not to say it's always the woman that's fixated. I've met quite a few males who are super fixated because of that oxytocin. They are super fixated and they just can't let it go. The woman's not interested. I've seen same sex type connections, same thing. Same thing. Okay. And this is the point where we begin to need to ask the question, what is your goal when you're having intercourse? You know what I mean? Like what do you do it for? That momentary pleasure? Or are you doing it as a way to ripen, deepen, further express the depth of a bond you have with an individual? I would love to hear your guys' opinions on the whole concept of intercourse in modern dating, like how dating is now. Is this something, is there still some standard where um, you have to wait X amount of days or weeks or months? Or is it this thing now where it's like, when you first meet, I don't know. I don't know. I was thinking more of talking about the mechanics of it, the energetic mechanics, but this is like opening up a huge potentiality for us to better understand what it is we're agreeing to. So, first question I have for you guys. What is your standard when you are dating? Do you have to have this waiting period of getting to know someone socially before you get to know them biblically? How soon are you comfortable with getting to know someone biblically? Intercourse. And again, this is not about shaming people who have no problem doing it on the first date. Like, that's your choice. Who cares? That's your choice. Let's see. Moonrock says, I hate the sex culture here. I don't understand how people do it on the first date. I don't know. I don't know. I've been married for like 20 something years. I don't know. I don't know. Like when I was still in my teens, um, there was a lot of stigma with that, you know? And I know that societies progress, and looking at pop culture and so many different subcultures, there's not so much stigma anymore. What I'm seeing is there's a lot of shaming you if you make someone wait. Like, what's wrong with you? Are you a prude? Excuse you. Excuse you. So that's the thing. Like, we don't even really know what it is we're agreeing to when it comes to that type of thing. You know what I mean? Well, when it comes to this entire subject matter of sacred sex, we don't really know. We don't really know. There's a lot of pressure for people to get the goods. Ocean Lover says, I can't be bothered with it either, Mooney. It's like it's okay for people to just be as disposable as paper towels, or rather paper diapers. Ooh, deep. That's deep, deep, deep. Whew. Oh my gosh. Ooh. Mm. So Lisa says, my last relationship it was about 6 months. You waited about 6 months. And she says we lasted 10 years. Yeah. Universal D says it depends on the connection that we have. Like if I want to get to know you and build something, I don't mind waiting. Ooh, sorry. Universal D, can you come up with me? I want you to come up here and talk. I want for you, if you're able, to please come up on the screen and chat with me. Um, let me get this. Let me get this. Hold on. Because, okay. I'm gonna need you to help us understand this, okay? Because you said something super profound right now. You just said a ridiculously profound thing, and I would love for you to come up and talk. Whew, whew. He says it depends on the connection that we have. If I want to get to know you and build something, I don't mind waiting. And even if I decided to do something casual, I would have to know you for a moment, or for I would have to know you. That's intense. That's very, very intense. Um, I think that is quite possibly the most honest, most powerful thing someone could have shared. Because I mean, there was a risk that was involved in being that honest. There's a very real, tangible risk. And that risk has to do with all of us suddenly jumping on Universal D and being like, oh my God, you're a dog. Oh my God, oh my goodness, this. Oh my goodness, that. I know plenty of women who have that mindset. Let me just get a little something, something from you. I don't really want to build anything with you. If you're going to make me wait, then I don't want nothing. A lot of the sexual encounters that people tell me about these days, a lot of it is transactional. Okay. A lot of it is transactional at this point. And that's something we have. Let's welcome Universal D up here.
Hi guys, can you hear me?
Where are you? You have to start
Can
your
you see me? Uh
Oh, wait, let me turn off my solo. That's what it is. I was hogging the screen.
oh.
God,
Can you
let
hear
me
me?
this. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Okay, I just wanted to make sure y'all can hear me.
All right. So further explain, like share.
Okay. So what I meant by that, I if if we have a connection, because you meet so many different people right off the back, right off the rip. Some of a lot of people you have such a strong connection or a bond to right off the back. But if you actually want to take the time, me myself personally, I actually want to take the time to actually invest in getting to knowing you. I want to get to know you in the awe and completely of the awe of who you are and what you are before we even take that extra step into going into the sexual intercourse. Before, when I was younger, like I would just have sex with anybody, anything. I used to be a little horn dog before I actually took the time to understand what sex was and how sacred sex is and how, when it comes to commingling to what the body is like. Before, I just used to do crazy shit with everybody, and I had a lot of things going on. But now that I actually took the time to learn myself, taking the time to learn myself, taking the time to understand how potent my sexual energy is,
Mhm.
because me myself personally, like my sexual energy will enhance whatever it is that you have going on within yourself. So if you're at a beautiful state or a beautiful place within yourself, I'm going to further enhance that. But if you are in a place of demise and really of self torture and things like that, then it's going to be enhanced as well. So I have to be very, very careful and mindful and very intentional with whom I decide to share my energy with because of how powerful it is.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad I brought you up here. Like, first, thank you. Thank you for having the courage to first comment that and having the courage to come up here, because really there's a lot of stigma with males being honest and being sensitive enough to be able to come with that honesty. You know what I mean? There's like,
I get
you
it.
know, and to hear it from you, like directly from you versus reading it, it makes it that much more powerful because you can feel the authenticity to it. You can feel like it's not coming from a place of ego. This is coming from a place of learning. You've been through enough, you have the experience, and maybe that's why we have those casual encounters at first, to help us to learn, but not to build us, not to further ripen our divinity. It A lot of those casual encounters, from what I've seen other people sharing with me, like their experiences, it's wrecked them in a way. That's their
Hmm.
perception, that it's wrecked them. And I'm like, no, that just broke you open, because now you're seeing things from a completely different perspective. And it's like caused you to shed a layer of skin. And now you're raw and very feeling, and you understand that much more. Would you say that your learning came from You just taking the time to think about things, or would it be more from some of the hurt that you've experienced in your own casual encounters?
Both. It's both. And you know me, I have to learn things through actually firsthand experiencing them. So when it came to like have, because I guess you could say I used to be in a polyamorous relationship before I even came out to Georgia.
Mhm.
And like I had love for everybody, each and every single last one of them, but my connections and stuff were drawn closer to one particular individual. And then it came closer time to me to move out here. And once I came to move to Georgia, that whole entire situation just blew up to hell. And then in the same process of that, like I seen the feelings that I hurt. I even hurt my own feelings doing that to myself. And then even just some of the casual connections and things like that, seeing the effect that it had on people after the fact, it really helped me take my time to really refocus on myself. And another thing I had to learn, I was giving myself out so much to everybody, spreading myself so thin in so many different places, in so many different ways. I really never took the time to actually understand myself. So when it came to my last relationship, which ended in 2018, I was done. Like I said, I'm not doing anything with anybody unless, I feel like it or we have that connection. Um, and I went on that stretch for a good 3.5 years. I did a little dibbing, dabbling every now and again, but that was just to make sure I still, my man's was still working. We still got what we got going on though. But I'm very intentional and very, very picky with whom I decide to share my self with now. It takes a lot.
Would you say that that pickiness, that intentional nature that developed, would you say that that comes from you finally realizing the gravity of what you offer every single time you connect?
hmm Because the the weight that's not seen with it is actually very, very heavy. But it's not a bad heavy. It's just an enhancing type of heavy. So, like I said before, whatever you have going on, it's going to enhance that.
Yeah. So it sounds like you've developed an awareness of some of your sole purpose, which is as a catalytic amplifier.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow,
You're so adorable.
wow,
Yeah. And
that's
all of
deep.
these people, they contributed to your learning about yourself. So it wasn't necessarily a waste of you. It wasn't necessarily just like, oh, you're just being this young buck that's just like, no, it actually helped to develop
Cool
every
learning
single person.
experience.
Yeah. That's why, like, I'm not trying to say that everyone should just be in one relationship and nothing ever, you know what I mean? Like, we all learn in different ways. And
Mhm.
there's sacredness about sexual intercourse that goes beyond just the physical act. But see, if you continue to just have these connections with people who are not worthy of that type of honor, they will desecrate your temple. And in that state of desecration, your perception of yourself just, yeah, yeah. Have you ever experienced that
The
where,
desecration of myself. Yeah, I've seen myself lose myself trying to hold on to something that wasn't still there.
mm,
Like I've felt it multiple times. I've experienced it twice, and actually the last time that I experienced it was a time that really just said no more. Choose you. It's time to
mm.
focus on you.
Do you feel,
And
mhm.
oh no, what was your question?
I was going to ask you, do you feel like they did this intentionally or they were just completely oblivious to the effect?
They were lessons sent by the universe for myself because most of my partners that I actually had the opportunity to with, a lot of them were virgins.
Mm,
So it was lessons learning for myself, but also helping teach the others in certain different ways.
gotcha. Gotcha. Do you have any type of negative feeling about being there first? Do you feel like you took something from them? Or do you feel like it empowered you to be the first? Or do you feel like it was just this, that's just kind of how it worked out?
I feel like I don't want to say I feel like negative because like I don't feel like I took anything from them because I've always had conversations before I did it.
Mhm.
Especially with it being your first time and things like that. I am one who's very patient and very learning and very lenient. So I will take the time that it is to actually understand you and learn you and know your body and things like that before I actually get, because that's a blessing. That's honestly, that is a blessing within itself to have somebody that is pure still and amongst all rights. Like that is a blessing, and especially for you to enter into their temple. So you have to be very, very careful. And a lot of people aren't that careful and sacred nowadays. Like I even had that knowing within myself while I was still doing that, but not really understanding it until after the fact.
Mm. Would you say that the intercourse, whether it just be one time or multiple times, it really doesn't matter. But would you say that act of intercourse is the very impetus, the thing that got you thinking, wondering, questioning, and that led to the answers that you discovered?
hmm Um, because let's just say if I didn't have those partners or anything like that, I probably wouldn't have learned the experience that I needed to learn today. I probably wouldn't have the remembrance of the knowledge that was within my soul today that I have now if I didn't have those opportunities. And so,
Okay, so you've taken my classes before. You have some idea of energetic stuff. Uh,
mhm.
when you look back at those instances, first time with people who are doing it for the first time, how can you explain that in energetic terms? Did you experience anything that you could kind of say is something like spiritual or energetic?
um, I can say with the first times, it feels like I don't know. It feels like it's a merging of two coming in together as one, but still being a one after the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Like still being two separate ones. It's like I don't. The intercourse. I guess it brought us closer. Not only did it bring us closer, but it strengthened the honesty and things that were going on at the time as well. So it helped deepen the connections within us. But flip side of that coin, I was still also doing a lot of other things as well. So the it yeah,
Would you say that it strengthened their honesty with you or both?
both. It was both. Honestly, it was both because I even seen myself because I one of the situations that I was in, I was dealing with three people at one time, but I was also dating one of the three, and the other two were best friends in that kind of case of nature. And it came to the point where the guilt was eating me up on the inside, and I actually told my girlfriend at the time that I was stepping out on her and I was sleeping with her best friend or whatever would not be the case, and I even tried to break up with her. I couldn't break up with her though because I felt like she didn't did nothing wrong to deserve me taking that away from her. You know what I'm saying?
Mm. Ooh, so was it this thing of like you became aware of her dependency on your energy and you felt it was punishing her by removing your energy from her space?
I think so. Now that I actually think about that, yeah, yeah.
That's deep.
Wow.
That's called a soul tie. And that's why we have to be careful of who we select, even in casual connections. That's what a soul tie is. She was feeding off of you energetically. And that feeding, that soul tie, can be so covert that it can affect the way you perceive that connection to the degree where you gaslit yourself. I'm not saying she was psychologically manipulating you. I don't know what happened, but that's the sense that you gaslit yourself into believing that you were punishing her by honoring the fact that you knew you were no longer in alignment with her and needed to disconnect.
Damn, I ain't never thought about it like that. This is why I love you.
You are my adopted son, you know.
This is why I love you. I never had or heard that perspective of it.
Well, one of the things I'm going to share with everyone, let me see if I can fit all three of us. Let me see. Oh, I don't know how to do it. There. Yes. Okay. So if we look at this. No, I don't want that. I want this. Okay. So with this, and I can show you guys again later. Where did he go? Okay. So with this is a graphic that I created for one of my classes. We have Hara Center 1, which is right here. Oh, it's right by your belly button. Okay. It's one of the primary regulatory elements of Kundalini energy. Hara Center 1. It attaches or governs all of those functions, all of those energetic structures in the body. Now, if we look at just beneath that, we will see number 4. I'll bring you on in a second. Okay, Universal D. Sorry. So here, this is even better. So you see the 0.1, which is by the belly button, and then you see the yellow point right beneath that, which is number 4. That's the sun star. It's a crystal seal. That is a key center for directing energy through your entire energetic system. When you can access Sun Star and the Hara Center, you have access to the entire template. The entire template. If I want it to be parasitic, I'll access those, and that's facilitating the feeding. You notice the placement of it? It's right by what? The areas that are accessed when you are in that very divine connection, right? That's what they're accessing. So it becomes this thing of direct port injection. I've talked about this before. When you are having intercourse with someone, you are giving access to internal ports. With that Sun Star seal and that Hara seal, like y'all, full access to your core coding. And once that's access, I mean, unless you can work energy to the degree that I can and do full recodement, you've just given them the garage door opener. And if they are parasitic, if they harbor parasitic things, that can now access you, remote access. How's that make you feel?
It makes sense from when we first started talking and you made those discoveries of everything. So, yes, it makes complete sense.
Do I have your permission to kind of further break down the psychology of everything? Just by observation, obviously, I'm not a psychologist, but these are just like things that I would think about if we were in a private session and this is like the primary concern. We're doing a self and soul coaching session and you're telling me these things and I'm looking at how your energy and your life is going right now. I would begin to question, and seek the answers for these questions. One of the things that I would first explore is, okay, were you intentionally seeking out individuals who do have parasitic situations without consciously knowing, maybe on a subconscious level? You knew, you sensed that they had this need to feed, and maybe there was something going on within you, something that caused you to feel fractured, maybe from early childhood, maybe from your teen years, who knows, something that made you fractured, and you've been leaking energy. And so now you want to punish yourself. And so you seek out the very people who could punish you in a way that is so covert that you feel as though you're in some kind of position of control. Like you can control this, you're making these decisions, but in reality, you are simply repeating cycles of feeding, 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 self sabotage. You're Sagittarius? Sagittarius likes to do this, and they're so very charismatic that they don't realize when they do this to themselves. But that's when the Sagittarian is having that imbalance that's not recognized. Would you say that that's accurate? You've been punishing yourself this whole time?
Yep, and that's why I left that final mark in 2018 to really no more focus on anybody else. Let's get us right and patiently wait.
Yeah. So, with this knowledge, I mean, how does that affect the trajectory of your future relationships?
I'm still taking my time. I'm still and while we're talking about that relationship part of it right now, I'm not really too much worried about a relationship at this current moment. This current moment, I am still growing and falling. No, I am still growing more in love with myself, even though I am okay with being in my own space. I can laugh at myself, really enjoy the experience of myself by myself. I'm slowly but surely getting ready to that point of actually welcoming in that lifelong partner who can sustain the wittiness and the wits of me, but also have their own wittiness and wits within themselves. Um, and we just kind of just balance each other out, and just ride it out. It's coming. I'm no rush for it, but it would be nice if it came sooner.
There's a question here, and this is a very important question. Would you say your masculine friends and family have the same views as you? Are you alone in your thinking with the masculines around you?
Yeah, very alone in the thinking. Even those of coworkers and things like that, they don't have the same viewpoint of it as I do when it comes to relationships or anything like that. Like a lot of my homeboys, like, damn, bro, you need to go and get you some pussy or something. You need to go and get lit. I'm not worried about that. That's not a main priority right now. If I wanted to, I can have anything that I wanted just because of who I am, just because of the way that I look. But I choose not to, and it takes a lot to choose not to.
Yeah. And those are really powerful declarations of fact. You literally could find someone, anyone, and have these, moments of pleasure with. You're not an ugly person. You're very charismatic. On top of that, you're developing an understanding that I'm pretty sure quite a few ladies in the comments right now are like, okay, what's his number? Hey, don't be messing with my kid, yo. Don't be messing with my kid. No, just kidding. But that's the thing though. It takes a more powerful man to be able to recognize that they have the ability to get another person to agree to these things. But that's not
It's
the
nothing.
goal.
It's like talking a baby out of the candy. It's nothing.
Would you say that, because this was such a key question,
Mhm.
sunrise to sunset oracle, it always asks the most potent questions. I love it. I love it. Um, this gets me thinking though, if men are programmed, and it's just like a hypothetical thing. If men are programmed to believe that like it is a show of masculinity and they're the man with the number of people they can convince to have intercourse with them. And from what I just explained to you, it could be used as a manner to feed, to siphon the energy. Would you say that this is why the masculine has become so unbalanced within society, has been so emasculated, and has become, in general terms, as toxic
Yes.
as it has?
Yes, because of the simple fact that they're actually not taking the time to understand what the fuck they're doing. Everybody's just going, sticking, dodging, dipping, moving, without taking the time to pause, reflect, learn, revise, think over, then move forward.
Please say that again so people really get a moment to process that. Say it again.
I don't remember what I said.
He said, pause, revise.
Oh, okay, that part. The pause, revise, rethink, reflect before they just keep moving forward. You have to pause. You got to take a stop. You got to gather everything that you done collected so far. You got to review it. You got to reflect over it, cipher through it, see what is still good, see what is no good, throw that old shit out, leave space for new shit, and then move forward. That's where I'm at right now. I'm reflecting. I'm tossing old shit out and making space for new shit so we can move forward. And I'm not just talking relationship wise, I'm speaking life in terms in general. You have to shed and drop the dead weight from what was with you before, of the person that you are no longer are within that time frame, but you're still that same person, just growing and evolving and learning who you really are instead of what people tell you that you are.
Lisa has a question. Is that going back to social standards? If a man is casual, he's a player. If a female does, she's a slut.
I mean, it's like two tails of the same coin. Like, your females call us sluts and man whores and things like that. Us men call y'all sluts and whores and things like that. It's two sides of the same coin, so you really can't point the finger at one another
Yeah.
because
And
we're both doing it.
I've found that on social media, it's now glorified. It is glorified to be able to call yourself a hoe. Whether you're a man or a woman, it's glorified. It's okay to be a side chick, your sneaky link, and things like all of these romanticized concepts of just the not only objectification, but the lack of respect for self. Like for me, I don't know if it's from my previous life, but honey, I will be the only one. If you are entertaining other things, then you need to go over there because I don't got time for you. That's
I'm
that,
not a second option. I'm a word choice. I'm not an option.
right?
And
And
if you have to choose, choose them, not me.
right. And yeah, no, no, no. Totally. It's not even this thing of like if you have to choose, choose them. It's that they're now your only choice because I'm out.
Huh?
So I think a lot of what's happening and hold on. I think
Okay.
a lot of what's happening in the world right now, modern world, modern relationships, all of that,
Good shit.
is that we keep forgetting how important we are to ourselves. We keep placing other people on these pedestals and think that if we cater to them sexually, that we are ripening a bond. I mean, you guys just witnessed Universal D come to a realization. Uh, for some, it might not have been what he thought, which was like a ripening of the connection. It was just a facilitating of that anchoring.
Intercourse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Ooh, Miss H. Ooh, I love this. She says it's a feeding frenzy out there. Mindful eating is the key. We all have to eat at some point, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Does what you eat have to be bad?
Exactly. the mindful eating, being aware of what you are partaking in, whether someone is parasitic or not, you are taking in their energy, you are taking in their genetics, all of their pre-programmed trauma now resides within you.
And then not only just that, but also any other sexual partners that they've had as well.
Yes. Yes. So
Oh,
looking at what I shared about the whole, let me show you the graph again.
the diagram. I'll put the
Yeah,
diagram back up.
I'll put that back up. Hold on. So when we look at this and we see that direct port injection, that opportunity for that, what are your thoughts on that?
I wish this motherfucker would load up faster. Oh, hold on. I'm watching you on the TV too, so I'm waiting for it to come up on the TV. It's a couple seconds behind.
It's
Waiting for the diagram still.
yeah.
All right, here we go. So, here we go. Diagram. Sun star. There we go. All right. Boom, boom, bop, bam. Singa winga. We talking about the four or the five? We're at the four, right? We're
Number
talking
one
about
and
the
the
four.
four. 1 and 4.
One and the four. Damn it! Why you only had it up there for so long?
You rewind it.
Damn.
Don't be a demanding son, yo.
All
Oh, by
right, I'm
the
gonna pause
way,
it. Hold on.
you have all these people who are also saying that your older sister, they're claiming your older sisterhood and younger sisterhood, and they will protect you.
Oh, no, stop it. You got me blushing. Okay, we're talking about direct port injections. That yeah, that's very easily accessed because, and we really think about it, that's where a lot of energy is actually moved. That's where a lot of energy is actually stored because you got to think about it. You're coming from your root and also to your sacral chakra when you're intertwining those two.
Yeah,
So it's going to be easy for because and that's where most of the trauma and everything is stored anyways, is within the root and the sacral chakra. So yeah, if a person isn't mindful of whom they are and what they're doing on an energetic level, then it's very easy for direct port injections.
yeah,
Just like that. It's like taking a fucking socket and taking a plug and sticking it into a socket.
yeah.
Just that quick.
I mean, that's exactly how it is. If you think about it, when you impregnate someone, you are taking your genetic material and inserting it. If you are doing that, you're also doing energetically. You are
Mm-hmm.
taking components, fragments of your morphogenetic template and inserting it into their template.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of your
Mm-hmm.
coding, and a lot of the distortions that they've taken in from their previous partners. Um, would you say, are you familiar with the concept of incubus and succubus?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that some of the situations you've been in felt like a succubus?
Mm-hmm. I can honestly say it, and that's where I had to do a lot of realization to bring myself out of those situations. And those were like second hand situations that I was dealing with outside of what I was dealing with. I used to be very bad. To be honest with you guys, I used to be out. I used to be out there. I'm a changed man.
Do you feel that that was a bad thing?
No, it was a learning experience. It was a learning experience. Like I had to learn one way or another. And one day I was going to get either slowed down by the universe or choose to slow down myself.
Mm,
And I chose to slow down myself before I had got slowed down by the universe. Because getting
mm,
slowed down by the universe is something you don't want to happen because ain't no telling what may happen. Ain't no telling what may happen to you. Ain't no telling what you may contract or anything like that. So I'm glad I chose to slow down my damn self.
yeah. So, in that slowing down, this question comes up. Moonrock says, how would masturbating affect a person? Um, Well, it depends. What's your mindset when you are in the process? You know?
Because you can also use that to manifest too.
Yeah.
Actually, that is one of the strongest forms of manifestation if you really think about it.
Yes. Part of the reason why there's a lot of sexual acts that are performed during the more malignant type occult practices, it's called sex magic. It's creation magic. If it is an act that is powerful enough to bring into form another human being, to bind a soul to a physical body, that's some powerful type magic,
God
you know?
damn, when you think about this shit, it sounds crazy.
I know people don't, and that's why I've always been selective of like, don't even hold my hand, mofo. Don't, I got palm chakras. Don't be touching my chakras. Not even in the palms. Because I'm aware of all of these things, you know? It's this concept that many of us don't realize goes so far beyond a simple act. It can be the most sacred thing, but it can also be the most wicked.
I was about
Like,
to say destructive.
yeah.
We can go with wicked.
I mean, destructive wickedness. Both is correct and accurate. So when you are relieving yourself, um, again, are you fixating on someone that's toxic? You can call someone's energy in that way. Okay. I don't want you guys to be afraid, but I'm just saying, if you have a certain type of coding, you can bring someone into your space in that way. If you are relieving yourself and you've kind of been affected by some of the adult content videos out there, because those videos really are more about the degrading of the human form. Okay. That's what we are conditioned. This act is supposed to be like, it is not good unless you are doing something that disrespects the sanctity of the temple. Now, are you guys aware that, and this is kind of TMI, but the booty type, that's a form of demonic worship. That's an
The
actual ritual.
the booty type?
Yes, anal intercourse. You can look it up. That's a very
Oh,
old practice that
wow.
they would approach in order to show reverence to the demonic deity. They would approach backwards as a show of disrespect to the opposing divinity. And so the anus is designed to excrete waste, and they're doing everything in opposition to the divine design of things. And so they're inserting it back in.
Well, thank God I never did that.
I mean, don't tell me what you
I'm just saying, like, it never happened. So, like, thank God that never happened for me. Okay, now I don't even want to watch you
Hey,
anymore.
I'm your mom.
Like,
Don't talk about these things in front of your mom.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Oh God,
Okay.
I can't be your mom now, dude. I cannot be
Wow.
your adopted mom. I gotta be your
Wow.
sister now. Sorry. But yeah, no, you can seriously find information on this online. And for those that don't know, uh, my specialty, my actual, day job, I'm a parasitic extractor, which means, exorcism. I'm an exorcist, and therefore I have a robust knowing of demonology and occult practices in order to be able to
You
efficiently
said robust.
robust. Yeah. So, and these are the things that are promoted. If we look at all of the different things that are really really just pushed on us by pop culture, by social media, all of these different things, what are they really trying to get us to participate in? Some of the most powerful magical practice is sex magic. I'm not even joking. That's some of the most powerful. Um, it creates a bond. If we look at the history of like the Roman soldiers and like ancient warriors, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Am I traumatizing you? They would. It was just one of those practices where it would bond the soldiers together more. The oxytocin is being produced. They would have intercourse as they are preparing to go to battle.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Fucking white people. I'm
Hey,
sorry.
hey, well, hey. Um, it's not confined to just the
I
that.
know, but like,
Yeah, yeah. Intercourse is a very binding type thing, and we don't realize this. How many people have you been bound to over the course of your life?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, like think about that, you guys. How many other people have you been bound to, like duct tape to?
Huh.
Yeah. Now, some of the things that we need to kind of go over is really just allowing ourselves to first be honest with, where we currently are at within ourselves and our understanding of ourselves, what we've experienced, all of these, different things. And then we also have to make sure that we begin taking the steps to heal ourselves, you know, healing that sacral chakra, cleansing the Hara center, the sun star, really cleansing ourselves. Okay, what? Bum
Mm.
Bum says, everybody wanting their twin ray while being with one's thoughts, cheating or not ready yet. What?
What?
What? What?
What the fuck?
Hey, shh, no bad words.
Said,
This is the wrong day to use bad words.
sorry, sorry, guys.
Fluff? What the flim flam? Um, I think a lot of this has to do with when you are in a relationship with someone and you are fantasizing about someone else. What are you really bringing in?
Mm.
What
Mixed
are you
emotions.
actually doing? You know what I mean? And it's not to shame you. It's not to shame you. It's to ask a legitimate question. What is the ramification of that?
Mm.
Rainbow flames. Uh, do I have a sexual unbinding service? It's called a dark magic revocation, or you can just go for parasitic extraction. And those are usually the ones that will help with the unbinding. Now, it's not to say that everyone that you have been intimate with is malignant or has malicious intent or will forever be trying to harm you. It's not to say that. Okay. We don't need to take it to this worst case scenario. I'm sure the people that you've been with, Universal D, are not doing that. I think there's at least three of them that are still fixated on you and your energy, though. Yeah,
Three of them?
at least three who still
Son
think of
of a
you
bitch.
regularly.
Damn. Hmm. Hmm. I think that's one. That's two. Who could the third be?
I don't know.
Oh well, that's on them. I mean, you had your opportunity. Keyword
Hat.
had. You had the
Um,
opportunity.
Ocean Lover is going to take you to church real quick.
Jesus.
She's going to bathe you in the bathroom real quick.
We don't want to do any more baptisms. We didn't did too many of them.
So, I mean, maybe we should take some questions at this point. You guys, do
Questions,
you have any questions about the things that
comments.
we've talked about? And I think we can have a part two to this podcast where we can talk about the more positive things. I mean, we kind of went off into
The
the
debts.
negative part. And, we need to make sure that we balance this with a positivity because it can be such a healing thing. It can be something
Mhm.
that is very, very beautiful, very empowering, something that will help to further your creation, your conscious creation. We have to make sure, though, that we understand the ins and outs of it, the ins and outs. So, what's your guys' questions? Universal D is our resident expert on. You're gonna be our expert, okay? Uh, why is he the expert? Because he said so. That's why.
Special.
Sunrise to Sunset says, is there anything the divine feminine can do to assist the divine masculine with this perspective shift? Can or even should we hold space for the change?
In order for anybody to understand the perspective shift, you have to speak the perspective.
Mm,
So, from the divine feminine aspect, from the divine feminine standpoint, yes, the more of the feminine women who actually understand the sacredness and are willing to share of the information of the sacredness, then the more men that will we can possibly get to listen and actually start taking that shift and change within themselves. And that flips on the same coin for me and the divine masculine aspects, the more of the masculine men who actually have an understanding of the sacredness and who is comfortable enough and doesn't mind actually speaking out on it, then we can actually really get that perspective to change, get that shift to change, just as much as everybody promotes the not so beautiful things in life. We can still switch that coin and start promoting the more beautiful things in life. It may take us a little while longer to get our message through and across and to fall on ears because not a lot of people are ready to hear that type of truth, but slowly but surely this plane is slowly changing and shifting back to its unconditional state to where people can speak and be heard without really having to catch too much backlash and fault for telling the truth.
yeah. And that's the important thing, the catching the backlash for speaking truth, especially your personal truth. That's what keeps most males quiet. You know, most will remain silent because they don't want the stigma of being seen as someone who's not a man, like a real man. To me, real men can talk about whatever they feel like talking about and not be afraid of the stigma because it's like, well, that's your opinion. That's not my truth. That's your opinion.
That part,
Yeah.
that part. Opinions are like buttholes. Y'all have them.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
Good choice of words. Good choice of words.
Good job. Okay, so my take on Sunrise to Sunset's question, is there anything the divine feminine can do to assist the divine masculine with this perspective shift? Having standards and sticking to them, and
Ooh,
it's not necessarily framing it as like I'm a goddess and you're just not enough. You know what I mean? Because then that creates this opportunity for the tit for tat. It creates this like this game, right? How did I personally do it? I have standards. And, if my standards are too much for you, if you're not aligned with it, it was good knowing you, but I'm not going to compromise my standards. I would like to believe that you can rise up to that or that you're already there. Because honestly, I wouldn't talk to anyone that wasn't already there. And just knowing that it is not our job as women to mother other people. It is not our job to raise grown men. It is our job to hold a standard for ourselves and not compromise on that. And if a man really, really wants you, more than just as a plaything, more than just as a distraction, a side piece, a snack, whatever other things they say, he will work himself to the point that he knows he's worthy of you. That's
This is
just,
true.
yeah. And it goes all the way back around to what you said at the very beginning. If I want to build something further with you, I don't mind waiting, you know? So it's this thing of making sure that the space you hold is actually for you. Ladies, when you hold yourself to that degree of importance for yourself, not that you are more important than other people, not that other people have to see you as the most important thing, but when you hold that for yourself with no apologies and no wiggle room to back down, people have to accept that. And people who don't accept that will go away. Mhm. And eventually, what ends up happening is it becomes a cultural thing. Just like they made the side chick a cultural thing, they made it where it's normal, commonplace. We can do the exact opposite. If society can exist with people who serve as the poison, society can exist with people who serve as the medicine, the antidote to that poison, but you have to be brave enough to do it. You cannot compromise yourself and expect them to see your compromise and be like, oh, well, okay, you already compromised yourself. Let me step up to the plate and, do this, this, and this. No, that's just, it never happens like that.
Don't work like that.
Mm-mm. Never. People have asked me many, many times, like, how was it just luck? How did I end up having the kind of marriage that I have and for as long as I have? Okay, first and foremost, it's a real marriage. We had to work ourselves into this point of alignment, you know, and that took a lot of conflict between us. We had to choose every time there was conflict to continue to work together through the conflict into a point of resolution. Secondly, what did I do personally as a woman? I wouldn't accept anything less. Like, I love you so much. But if you're going to do that, I mean, I'm going to love you silently from afar. I don't have no problem being alone. And him, like, I mean, my husband doesn't say that kind of stuff to me. He just doesn't. He's not like that. I'm a little bit cold. I got Capricorn in my Venus.
Yeah, we can help it.
But he, the way he conducts himself tells me, like, I don't want to lose this man. I don't want him to not be in my life. So let me act right. And he doesn't even have to ask me to act right. I'm just like, you know what? I mean, he's some hot stuff. He had no problem finding someone else. You know what I mean? So it's not like he's with me because he's desperate. Let me acknowledge him for the gift that he is as a beautiful man with sensitivity, with grace, and he's masculine. Like, that's a whole package right there. Any other
We
woman,
love you so.
you know, you know, and that's just being realistic. Like, I also have to do my part to be worthy to be his wife. Just like I have my standards, so does he. And that's part of what we can do is stop looking for people to make into our projects. Because if they're going to be your project, they're not going to have respect for you. They're just
Mhm.
not. You're either going to serve as the mother figure, which how many of us do everything our mother says and just have so much love for our mother? Even if you have a good relationship with your mom, I know I've been irritating my kids. I know I can irritate my kids. Like, they love me. Yeah. We have a good relationship. We're very close, but I can irritate my kids.
Mhm.
That.
Mhm.
Do you want to be the mom? Or
Mhm.
are you trying to be their savior? Because I found that for some people, if you are connecting with them and using your sexuality to try and save them from their own process, it ends up becoming a game. where, they're going to try and see if you can rise up to the challenge. They'll keep challenging you and challenging you and challenging you and trying to see how far they can take it with you. Like the concept of that ride or die woman, being a ride or die. I straight up told my husband one time, I'm not willing to be shot for you. Stop that shit. I'm not trying to be shot for you. No, hell no. I got sessions I got to do. Like, I'm good off that. We not playing that. But granted, we were in the hood, and like I think someone was like getting their weaponry. It was literal, but also not, figuratively. It's
But
just
for real though, I don't know. It's just some of these concepts of things nowadays. It just really blows my mind. And yeah, I may be 26, I may be young, but dude, my soul is forever old. And some of these concepts nowadays, it really blows my mind. Yeah, being young, I kind of experienced some of what these concepts are, just through growing experience. But ultimately, I learned. And with that still being said, like if we can let the concepts that we have today be what they are, why can't we bring back the old fashioned concepts?
mm. There is literally, for me personally, and I know I'm not everyone's cup of tea, calm down. For me personally, there is nothing that is more attractive than an old school gentleman. Court me, make me feel like you are putting effort into pursuing me. I don't need the gifts. I need to see the action.
Oh, I see you just put Ocean Lover on the screen. You probably put up there a long time ago, but I just seen it. I actually like that question because I actually watched the older movie Karma Sutra. The or like is it like 1970s or something like that, or I don't know that one, and that actually really helps you learn one another's body without even the course of intercourse. Like the stimulation of knowing what arouses your partner just by a single touch, just by a single glance, or by a breath on the neck.
Mhm.
It arouses it enhances all that. So once you finally do get to that point of intercourse, oh my god, it's going to be so like I feel like if I actually had a partner to actually learn and experience the Karma Sutra on and actually be fully endowed in them without being in them before entering in them, holy Jesus.
Yeah. Kama Sutra is basically the practice of energetic merger before physicality. They teach about all of the erogenous zones, these areas on the body where the skin is just absolutely jam packed with hypersensitivity. It's something that is very
Yeah.
intoxicating. It's very, very intoxicating. And if you guys practice some of this, like tantric sex, it's just this thing of, it's not a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. It's this ripening before the actual release, before you even begin the physical process of creating that heightened sensitivity for the release. It has to do with holding in a way that's sacred, holding off and not being premature in what it is you are doing, having that, I guess you could say, foresight, where you know what your end goal is, and it's not simply just this activity. It is an actual, like a preparation of a banquet, lovingly allowing
Mm.
yourself to just properly and uniformly slice all the ingredients and prepare the sauces, allow the marination, and all of this is like several days long. It's one of those things, and Kama Sutra, tantric sex, it's not something that is very fast.
It's
Mm-mm.
not.
Yeah. It's this process, and I don't know, I can't remember the exact tenets of Kama Sutra, of Tantra, because the actual practice is Tantric sex. Um, but it's on an energetic level, it's like cleansing and preparing both of your higher selves for this merger point. And as the higher selves begin that synergy, that process of coming together and making each whole and solid in that reunification, then you prepare for the physicality of it. It's something that's really profound, very, very profound.
It
We can go
is.
over that. Yeah.
It is. Oh man.
Yeah.
Huh.
Look at you. His mind is blown.
Yeah, man. Because I want somebody to experience that way. Because I've done it before, but just not on like a majorly long scale. You know what I'm saying? Like I've probably done it for like a couple weeks before getting to know a person, but like actually taking the time, a process of a couple of months of just being around you, touching you, not even having sex with you, but just touching you, filling you out, learning your hot spots and things like that. Actually getting to know you and your body before actually making that jump.
Yeah.
That's what I'm building myself to get prepared to ready to receive. It's coming. It's coming. Shawty coming. I don't know who she is, but Shawty coming.
Yeah, and it can't just be anyone.
No,
It can't.
no, 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 no,
Yeah. It,
no, no,
it
no.
really can't. It has to be like a beautiful alignment between your higher selves. It has to, or it's not going to happen.
It's the only way. It's the only way something like that can actually work.
Yeah. If you were to have only one thing to say to everyone before we go, what would be the most important thing you could tell them?
The most important thing I could tell the people before we go. Hmm. Take the time to learn yourself. Discover yourself, the ins and out of you before you even try to even let anyone else in. And always, always take care of your temple before you take care of anybody else's.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the best way to take care of the temple?
Taking care of the temple is by taking care and knowing you.
Mm.
Only you know what you need.
Yes, from food to energetic practice, even down to the music you listen to. We all exist at a different, um,
Wave on the frequency length, but everybody catches up at a different band.
yes, yes. And when you become intimately familiar with who you are and what you need, you can better gauge whether the person sitting in front of you or laying beside you is the person who can actually understand and respect those needs, right? Now, it's not to say that you guys should be ashamed if you are, being more casual with your interactions. We definitely respect whatever you decide for yourself as long as as long as you're not intentionally attempting to be harmful to other people, as long as you're not, manipulating people to get what you want, then okay, have whatever fun you can have with people who are willing to agree to that. You know what I mean? This is not about shaming anyone. I just want to emphasize that. This is a space where we want to make sure everyone feels valid, regardless of how different our experiences, perceptions, and earlier life has been. We're all valid in what we have lived through. Okay. Like you look at me and Universal D here. I do not have I have single digit count, and then Universal D over here is like, well, I had like four girlfriends. That's okay. That doesn't make you any less than me. Doesn't make
Running in double digits, baby.
you sure not triple.
No, not triple, not triple, just double. Low doubles, low doubles, low
Low
doubles,
doubles.
low
Okay.
doubles, low doubles,
Low
low
doubles.
doubles.
That's okay. Even if it was triple digits, that's okay too. As long as, you feel good within yourself.
I couldn't bring myself to be in a triple digits. I'm sorry, no ma'am. That's a lot.
TDH, triple digit hoe. I'm just
We are not today. Wrong words.
uh DDH. I'm just teasing him at this point. Is you know, let me quit messing with you. So again, you guys, it's very important for you to accept your history as it is. Nothing has to be changed because nothing can be changed about your history. Be like Universal D, learn from it. Allow yourself to expand and grow in your understanding of yourself and your life. Allow it to be the very thing that fuels your rise. It's a very beautiful thing to witness you blossoming. It really truly is. You have been blossoming over the years, and it's been an absolute treat to watch that.
Me?
Yes, you.
Oh, thank you. I've actually like see myself slowly but surely stepping out of that cocoon that I've been having myself in for quite some time. Slowly but surely stepping out of there. And 2022 is a very promising year for me to actually start being out there.
Yeah. You're going to be out there at the sanctuary.
Girl, I'm be out there.
You're going to be the head goat wrangler.
Oh, okay. I like goats.
I'm looking at goats, pygmy goats, and I'm also looking at pocket cows.
Oh, oh, pocket cool. Sorry. Look, y'all know I like animals and stuff. Y'all can't do me like that.
I know.
I like to live in a little ranch in the prairie. Oh man, I really just can't wait to be back outdoors in the element, living with the land.
Yeah. So if you guys would like to meet Universal D, we're gonna have him. We're gonna have him at the land. He's gonna be the head.
Whenever the land gets ready, I'm gonna be there.
And no, y'all can't touch him. No, no comma, nothing with him. He is sacred. Don't even look at him. Okay, you can wave.
It's a
Yeah, from far away, just wave. Leave him alone with the baby goat. Okay, we better just quit. We better quit messing around. He's very sweet. One of the most beautiful things that I continue to see about you, Universal D, is your willingness to be who you are and who
Who
you
is
are.
that supposed to be?
Like it's your integrity and the beauty of your soul is always on full display. And I think more than just I appreciates that about you.
Oh, I'm over here flushing.
All right, we better go. If you guys would like to continue this chat with us in our exclusive area where USD over here is going to continue to use his potty words, go sign
I can use the
up.
high words over there, boy.
Go sign up on the soulsanctuary.love. We will be coming live at 10:30 or 9:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for all of our private ministry members. Those of you who have decided to do the recurring
See
contribution,
you.
we're gonna see you guys there. We're gonna and for those who are not part of it, we actually regularly launch a Zoom video chat, and it's not just me talking to everyone. We're literally having a
So fun.
powwow. Mm-hmm.
It's so fun. Y'all should really get in on that.
And it's
If you
no
can't
holds
get in
barred.
on that, it's fun over there.
Yep, there's a no holds barred thing. We talk about everything over there.
Y'all think y'all get the juice on YouTube? Nah, 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 nah. Y'all don't get the y'all get some of the juice on YouTube. Y'all want the juice? Go ahead and check out the Soul Sanctuary that I love. That's where
There,
all the juice is. I mean
there we go.
all the juice.
A whole cup. No, make it a carafe.
I might say it's like a whole like one of them like big with them barrels, you know them barrels, the big burn barrels.
5 gallon.
Yeah, that's the juice. Now I'm talking like a 50-gallon barrel of the juice. That's the juice. Like we Louisiana, baby. That's the juice.
We Louisiana, baby. Okay, we gotta go. We gotta get ready for.
All right, see you guys later.
Bye, everyone.